Have you ever stood in the middle of a conversation, knowing exactly what you want to say in your native language, but your mind goes completely blank when you try to say it in English? It is that frustrating pause where the words just disappear. You translate the sentence in your head. You check the grammar. You worry about the pronunciation. And by the time you are ready to speak, the moment has passed. It happens to almost everyone. But what if I told you that the secret to fixing this isn't studying more grammar books or memorizing long lists of vocabulary? The secret is changing how you talk to yourself when no one else is listening. Welcome to English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and today we are going to do something very different. We are not just going to learn English. We are going to live it. We are going to walk through a full journey from the moment you wake up, through your weekends, your work life, and even your travels, rewriting your internal monologue. You will learn how to narrate your daily tasks so that thinking in English becomes a natural, automatic habit. If you are ready to stop translating and start thinking like a fluent speaker, make sure you are comfortable. Take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. Imagine for a moment that it is early morning. The room is quiet and dark, but the sun is just starting to come through the window. You are lying in bed, and you feel safe and warm under the heavy blanket. This is the first moment of the day, and it is usually where your brain starts working in your native language. But today, we are going to change that. I want you to visualize a character named Elena. Elena is an intermediate English learner, just like you, and she has decided that today is her English day. She opens her eyes. Immediately, she thinks a simple sentence in English. She thinks, "I am waking up." It is a simple phrase, but it is powerful. I want you to try saying that to yourself right now, or just think it clearly. I am waking up. Elena stretches her arms above her head. She feels her muscles waking up. She thinks, I am stretching my arms. It feels good to stretch. Notice how she uses the present continuous tense because the action is happening right now. She is not thinking about the past or the future. She is narrating the present moment. Now, Elena sits up on the edge of her bed. She looks for her slippers on the floor. She thinks, where are my slippers? Ah, there they are. I am putting on my slippers. This is the key to our practice today. You do not need complex, poetic language. You need simple, direct descriptions of reality. As you listen to me, I want you to look around the room you are currently in. Pick one object. Maybe it is a lamp, a phone, or a glass of water. Create a sentence about it in your mind. If you see a phone, think, the phone is on the table. If you see a light, think, the light is bright. This small act is how you build the bridge between your eyes and your English brain, bypassing translation entirely. Let's go back to Elena. She walks to the bathroom and looks at the mirror. She sees her reflection. She thinks, my hair is messy. I need to brush my hair. She picks up the toothbrush. Now, listen to the specific verbs she uses. She does not just say teeth. She thinks, I am putting toothpaste on the brush. Now, I am brushing my teeth. Listening to the sound of the water running is also part of the experience. She thinks, the water is running. It is warm water. When she splashes the water on her face, she thinks, that feels refreshing. I am washing my face. By doing this, Elena is connecting the physical sensation of the water with the English words refreshing and washing. This creates a memory link that is much stronger than just reading a word in a textbook. After she is ready, she goes to the kitchen. This is a great place for English practice because there are so many actions and objects. Elena wants coffee. She walks to the coffee machine. She narrates her actions silently. She thinks, I am pressing the button. The machine is making a loud noise. I can smell the coffee. It smells delicious. This is an important technique called sensory narration. You describe what you see, what you hear, and what you smell. Let's practice this together. Imagine you are in your kitchen. You open the refrigerator. What do you see? Maybe you see milk, eggs, or vegetables. Try to form a sentence. I see a bottle of milk. I am taking the milk out of the fridge. The bottle is cold. Simple sentences like these build your confidence because they are always correct. You are just stating facts. Elena decides to make breakfast. She takes 2 eggs. She thinks, I am cracking the eggs into a bowl. She hears the sound of the egg cracking. She grabs a fork. She thinks, I am beating the eggs. I am mixing them. Then she pours them into a hot pan. She thinks, the pan is very hot. The eggs are cooking fast. While she eats, she does not scroll through social media in her native language. Instead, she looks out the window. She sees a neighbor walking a dog. She thinks, the neighbor is walking his dog. The dog is running fast. It looks happy. She sees the sky. She thinks, it is cloudy today. Maybe it will rain. By observing the world in English, Elena is preparing her brain for real conversations. If someone asks her later, how was your morning? She will already have the words ready because she has been using them all morning. Now it is time for Elena to leave the house. She grabs her keys and her bag. She checks her pockets. She asks herself, do I have my phone? Do I have my wallet? Yes, I have everything. She opens the door and steps outside. The air is cool. She thinks, it is a bit cold. I should zip up my jacket. She walks to the bus stop. Walking is a rhythmic activity, and it is perfect for practicing English rhythm. As she steps, she can think, I am walking to the bus. 1 step, 2 steps. She sees a car drive by. She thinks, that is a red car. It is driving very fast. When she arrives at the bus stop, she sees a man waiting there. Let's call him Marcus. Elena knows Marcus from her neighborhood. This is a chance to practice social English, even if she doesn't say it out loud yet. She practices a greeting in her head. She thinks, I could say, good morning, Marcus. How are you today? She imagines his answer. He might say, I am fine, thanks. The bus arrives. It is a big blue bus. She thinks, the bus is here. I am getting on the bus. She scans her card. She thinks, I am paying for my ticket. She looks for a seat. She thinks, the bus is crowded today. There are no empty seats. I have to stand. She holds onto the rail. She thinks, I am holding the rail so I do not fall. This commute time is often wasted on phones, but for you, it is a goldmine for listening and thinking practice. Look at the people around you. Pick one person and try to describe them in your head. Elena sees a woman reading a book. She thinks, that woman is wearing a green coat. She is reading a thick book. She looks serious. Elena wonders what the book is about. She thinks, maybe she is studying, or maybe it is a mystery novel. This is called speculative thinking. You use words like maybe, probably, or I think. It pushes your English level from B1 to B2 because you are dealing with possibilities, not just facts. Try this next time you are on a train or a bus. Look at someone and guess their job. I think he is a businessman because he is wearing a suit. I think she is a student because she has a heavy backpack. Elena arrives at her workplace. She works in a busy office. She sits at her desk and turns on her computer. She thinks, I am logging in. I have a lot of emails today. She feels a little stressed. Instead of ignoring the feeling, she names it in English. She thinks, I feel a little stressed. I have too much work. Acknowledging your emotions in English is vital. It helps you express yourself when you are talking to friends or doctors. Elena starts typing. She thinks, I am writing an email to my boss. She reads it back to herself to check for errors. She thinks, does this sound polite? Yes, it is good. I am sending it now. At 1 p.m., it is lunchtime. Elena goes to a sandwich shop nearby. She stands in line. She looks at the menu board. She practices ordering in her head before she gets to the counter. She thinks, I would like a chicken sandwich, please. No, maybe I will have the salad. Okay, I will have the chicken sandwich with cheese. When she gets to the counter, she is ready. She speaks confidently because she has rehearsed it. After she gets her food, she sits down. She takes a bite. She thinks about the taste. She thinks, this bread is fresh. The chicken is spicy. It tastes very good. Describing food is a common topic in small talk. If you can describe textures and flavors, salty, sweet, crunchy, soft, spicy, you will be very good at dinner conversation. After work, Elena needs to go to the grocery store. This is one of the best places for vocabulary building. She pushes the cart. She thinks, I am pushing the cart. The wheel is squeaky. She walks to the fruit section. She sees apples, bananas, and oranges. She thinks, I need to buy some apples. These apples look red and shiny. She picks one up. She thinks, this one is firm. She puts it in a bag. Then she goes to the bakery section. She smells fresh bread. She thinks, that smells wonderful. I want to buy a loaf of bread. She looks at the price. She thinks, it is a little expensive, but it looks high quality. As she walks through the aisles, she practices comparisons. She sees two brands of pasta. She thinks, the blue box is cheaper than the red box, but the red box looks bigger. I will buy the red one. Comparisons are a major part of B1 English. Bigger than, cheaper than, more expensive than. Doing this in the store makes the grammar real. You are not filling out a worksheet. You are making a decision about your life. Elena pays for her groceries. She thinks, the cashier is scanning my items. I am paying with my credit card. She packs her bags. She thinks, this bag is heavy. I hope it does not break. When Elena finally gets home, she is tired. She puts the grocery bags on the kitchen table. She thinks, I am home. I am tired, but happy. She takes off her shoes. She thinks, it feels good to take off my shoes. She sits on the sofa for a moment. She thinks, I am resting for 5 minutes. Then she decides to cook dinner. While she cooks, she pretends she is hosting a cooking show. This is a fun game you can play. She speaks to an imaginary audience. She thinks, first, I am boiling the water. Now, I am chopping the onions. You have to be careful with the knife. Now, I am adding the garlic to the pan. Listen to the sizzle. Doing this cooking show narration forces you to use sequence words. First, then, next, after that, finally. These words are essential for telling stories. After dinner, Elena has some free time. She does not turn on the TV immediately. She does some chores. She washes the dishes. She thinks, I am washing the plate. I am rinsing the soap off. I am drying the glass. Then she decides to relax. She picks up a book. It is an English book, but it is not a textbook. It is a simple story. She reads a few pages. If she sees a word she does not know, she does not stop to look it up immediately. She tries to guess the meaning from the context. She thinks, I do not know this word, but the sentence is about trees, so maybe it means a type of leaf. This skill, guessing meaning from context, is what allows you to survive in an English-speaking environment. Now the day is ending. Elena prepares for bed. She turns off the lights in the living room. She thinks, it is getting dark. I am turning off the lights. She goes to the bathroom to brush her teeth again. She looks in the mirror and reflects on her day. This is the final and most important exercise. She asks herself, what did I do today? She answers in the past tense. She thinks, today I went to work. I wrote many emails. I ate a delicious sandwich. I went to the grocery store. I bought apples and pasta. I cooked dinner. Switching from the present continuous to the past simple creates a complete cycle of grammar practice. She gets into bed. The sheets are cool. She thinks, the bed feels comfortable. She closes her eyes. Her brain is tired, but it is a good kind of tired. She has spent the whole day narrating her life in English. As she drifts off to sleep, her final thoughts are in English. She thinks, good night. Tomorrow will be another good day. As the sun rises on Saturday morning, the routine changes. Weekends are different. They require planning, social interaction, and spontaneity. This is where your English needs to be flexible. We will focus on the future tense, making suggestions and handling social situations. Elena wakes up later than usual. She looks at the clock. It is 9 a.m. She stretches and thinks, I slept in today. It feels wonderful to rest. On weekends, the internal monologue changes from I have to I want to. Elena stays in bed for a few extra minutes to plan her day. This is a crucial skill, using the going to structure for future plans. She thinks, what am I going to do today? I am going to meet my friend Sarah. We are going to have lunch together. After lunch, maybe we will go to the park. Notice the difference. She uses going to for things she has already decided, and will or maybe for things she is not sure about yet. Try this right now. Think about your next hour. What are you going to do? I am going to finish listening to this video. I am going to drink some water. Elena gets up and walks to the window. The weather looks perfect. She thinks, the sky is blue. It is going to be a warm day. She opens her closet. Choosing clothes is a great opportunity to practice conditional sentences using if. She looks at a heavy sweater. She thinks, if I wear this sweater, I will be too hot. She looks at a light t-shirt. She thinks, if I wear this, I might be cold in the evening. She decides on layers. She thinks, I will wear a t-shirt and bring a light jacket. This internal debate, weighing options, is how you move from simple descriptions to complex reasoning. She puts on her favorite jeans. She thinks, these jeans are comfortable. They fit perfectly. Before she leaves, Elena realizes she needs to confirm the time with Sarah. Talking on the phone or sending messages is often terrifying for learners because you cannot see the person's face. Elena picks up her phone. She types a message. She narrates her typing. She thinks, hi, Sarah. Are we still meeting at 12 o'clock? She waits for a reply. The phone buzzes. Sarah replies, yes, see you at the Green Leaf Cafe. Elena thinks, great, I am looking forward to seeing her. Looking forward to is a beautiful phrase. It means you are excited about something in the future. Tell yourself right now, I am looking forward to the weekend. I am looking forward to mastering English. Elena prepares her bag. She thinks, I need my sunglasses. I need my book. Oh, I should bring an umbrella just in case. Just in case is a very common idiom. It means doing something for safety, even if it might not happen. She walks out of her apartment. The street is busier than on weekdays. Families are walking, kids are playing. Elena narrates the atmosphere. She thinks, the street is lively today. Everyone looks relaxed. She sees a street musician playing a guitar. She thinks, he is playing a happy song. I like the rhythm. She stops for a moment to listen. She thinks, he is very talented. I wish I could play the guitar. Using I wish expresses a desire for something different. She walks towards the bus stop, but then she changes her mind. She thinks, it is such a nice day. I am going to walk to the cafe. It will take about 20 minutes. Walking through the city allows for a different kind of practice, reading signs and directions. She passes a bakery. The sign says, freshly baked bread. She thinks, that sounds delicious. She passes a clothing store. The sign says, 50% off sale. She thinks, that is a good deal. Maybe I will come back later. She arrives at a crosswalk. The light is red. She thinks, I have to wait for the green light. The cars are stopping. Now the light is green. I can cross. As she walks, Elena practices giving directions in her head. Imagine a tourist stops her and asks, excuse me, where is the library? Elena rehearses the answer. She thinks, go straight for 2 blocks. Turn left at the post office. The library is on the right, next to the bank. Giving directions requires specific prepositions. Next to, across from, behind, in front of. Look around you right now. What is next to you? What is behind you? The wall is behind me. The computer is in front of me. This spatial awareness grounds your English in the physical world. Elena arrives at the Green Leaf Cafe. It is a trendy spot with outdoor seating. She scans the crowd. She thinks, where is Sarah? I do not see her yet. She checks her watch. She thinks, I am 5 minutes early. I will wait near the entrance. A waiter approaches her. This is a real interaction moment. Even if she is just imagining it, she practices. The waiter asks, table for 2? Elena thinks of her response. Yes, a table for 2, please. My friend is coming soon. The waiter leads her to a table by the window. She sits down. She thinks, this is a nice spot. I can watch the people outside. Sarah arrives. She waves. Elena stands up to hug her. In her head, she thinks, she looks great. She is wearing a new dress. They sit down. Now, the conversation begins. Small talk is an art form. It usually starts with the immediate past. Elena asks, how is your week? Sarah talks about her job. Elena listens actively. Listening is not just hearing. It is showing you understand. In her mind, Elena prepares reaction phrases. That sounds stressful. That is amazing. Really? I did not know that. These short phrases keep the conversation flowing. The waiter comes back to take their order. Elena looks at the menu. It is full of options. She thinks, I usually drink coffee, but today I want something cold. I am going to order an iced tea. She looks at the food. She thinks, the avocado toast looks good, but the salad sounds healthier. I will have the salad. When she orders, she uses polite modal verbs. She says, could I have the iced tea, please? And I would like the garden salad. Politeness is key in English culture. Using could and would softens your request. While they eat, the topic shifts to hobbies. Sarah asks Elena what she has been doing lately. Elena thinks about her answer. She wants to talk about her painting class. She thinks, I have been taking a painting class for 2 months. She uses the present perfect continuous tense, I have been taken, to show an action that started in the past and is still continuing. She explains, it is difficult, but I enjoy it. I am learning how to mix colors. Talking about your passions is the best way to become fluent because you care about the subject. You are not searching for words, you are searching for feelings. After lunch, they decide to go for a walk in the park. Sarah suggests, shall we go to the park? Elena agrees. That is a great idea. As they walk towards the park, the environment changes. The noise of the city fades away. There are trees and grass. Elena thinks, it is quieter here. The air smells like grass. They find a bench and sit down. They watch people passing by. This is another round of speculative observation, but this time they might discuss it. Elena sees a couple running together. She thinks, they must be very fit. They are running perfectly in sync. She sees a child crying. She thinks, the poor kid. He probably dropped his ice cream. Suddenly, a problem arises. This is an important part of language learning, handling problems. Elena reaches into her bag to get her phone to show Sarah a photo. She freezes. She thinks, oh no, where is my phone? It is not in my side pocket. It is not in the main pocket. Panic sets in. She thinks, did I leave it at the cafe? Did I drop it? She tells Sarah, I think I lost my phone. Sarah helps her look. This situation forces Elena to retrace her steps using the past perfect tense. She thinks, I had it when I was at the table. I had checked the time before we left, so I must have left it on the table. They rush back to the cafe. Elena narrates the urgency. She thinks, we are walking fast. My heart is beating fast. I hope it is still there. They arrive at the cafe. Elena goes straight to the counter. She has to explain the situation to the staff. She rehearses the sentence. Excuse me, I think I left my phone here about 20 minutes ago. It is a black phone with a blue case. The waiter looks behind the counter. He holds up a phone. Is this yours? Elena feels a wave of relief. She thinks, thank goodness. That is a relief. She says, yes, that is mine. Thank you so much. She turns to Sarah. I am so lucky. Dealing with lost items, broken things, or misunderstandings is where your English is truly tested. After the drama of the lost phone, the two friends decide to relax. They go to a bookstore. Bookstores are quiet and peaceful. Elena loves looking at book covers. She picks up a travel book about Japan. She thinks, I have always wanted to go to Japan. I would love to see the cherry blossoms. This is the hypothetical conditional. I would love to. She flips through the pages. She thinks, the pictures are beautiful. It looks so different from here. Sarah picks up a cookbook. They discuss food. Do you like sushi? Have you ever tried making it? The have you ever structure is essential for sharing life experiences. It is getting late in the afternoon. The sun is starting to set. The light is turning golden. Elena thinks, the day went by so fast. Time flies when you are having fun. They decide to say goodbye. They hug again. Elena says, let's do this again soon. She walks towards the subway station. The subway is crowded. She squeezes into a car. She thinks, it is rush hour. Everyone is going home. She stands near the door. She listens to the announcements. Next stop, Central Station. She mimics the announcement in her head. Pronunciation practice can happen anywhere. When Elena gets home, she is physically tired but mentally energized. She kicks off her shoes. She thinks, home sweet home. She pours herself a glass of water. She sits on the couch. and takes a moment to process the day. Unlike the workday, which was routine, today was full of variety. She thinks, I spoke to the waiter. I told a story to Sarah. I solved the problem of my lost phone. I gave directions in my head. She feels proud. She thinks, I managed everything in English. I did not need to translate. She decides to watch a movie to wind down. She chooses a movie in English with English subtitles. This is a passive but effective learning method. She thinks, I am going to watch a comedy. I want to laugh. As she watches, she notices a phrase the actor uses. Get out of here. She realizes it doesn't literally mean leave. In this context, it means I don't believe you. She notes this mental shift. Idioms are the spice of the language. She thinks, I will try to use that phrase next time. Dinner is simple tonight. She makes a sandwich. She thinks, I am too tired to cook a big meal. A sandwich is enough. She eats quietly, enjoying the silence after a noisy day. She looks at her phone again, making sure it is safe. She sends a text to Sarah. Thanks for a great day. Got home safe. Sarah replies with a heart emoji. Elena thinks, I have good friends. The weekend fades and Monday morning arrives again. But this Monday feels different. We are going to step into a new arena, the professional world. This is where many learners feel the most pressure. We are going to explore how to think in English when the stakes are high, when you need to be precise, persuasive, and polite. Elena wakes up with a specific goal in mind. She has seen an internal job posting at her company for a team lead position. As she gets dressed, she is not just thinking about her clothes. She is thinking about her confidence. She looks in the mirror and practices positive affirmations in English. She thinks, I am capable. I am experienced. I am ready for more responsibility. Affirmations are powerful. Saying, I am ready, sets a completely different tone for the day than saying, I am tired. Elena sits down at her desk with a cup of coffee. Before she starts her regular work, she opens the job description. She reads it carefully. This is a great exercise for reading comprehension and vocabulary. She sees words like coordinate, supervise, and strategy. She doesn't just read them, she contextualizes them. She thinks, I know how to coordinate. I coordinate schedules every week. I know how to supervise. I helped train the new intern last month. She is connecting the formal vocabulary to her actual real-life actions. She decides to update her CV. Writing a CV in English is a specific skill. You have to use power verbs. Elena deletes a sentence that says, I did the project planning. She thinks, that is too weak. I need a stronger verb. She changes it to, I managed the project planning. She changes I helped the team to I supported the team, or I collaborated with the team. Listen to the difference. Did versus managed. Helped versus collaborated. These words sound more professional. As she types, she narrates her choices. She thinks, I am using bullet points to make it easy to read. I am highlighting my achievements, not just my duties. Next, she has to write a cover letter. This is a formal email to the hiring manager. She starts typing. She thinks, how should I start? Hi, Dave, is too casual. I should write, Dear Mr. Henderson. She continues, I am writing to express my interest in the team lead position. She reads it back. She thinks, is that clear? Yes. Now, I need to explain why I am good for the job. She types, During my 2 years here, I have successfully. She pauses. She needs to talk about a result. She thinks, I improved the filing system. How do I say that professionally? I implemented a new filing system that increased efficiency. That sounds much better. Formal writing requires you to avoid contractions. Instead of I'm, she writes I am. Instead of can't, she writes cannot. She checks the email one last time. She thinks, I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Elena. She hits send. Her heart beats a little faster. She thinks, I did it. I applied. Taking action in English, sending that email, making that call, is the ultimate confidence builder. Now, Elena has to switch gears to her current work. She walks into a meeting room. Today, the team is discussing a new marketing plan. Her colleague, let's call him David, presents an idea. Elena listens. She thinks, I do not think that idea will work. It is too expensive. Now, she has to disagree, but she must do it politely. In business English, you rarely say, you are wrong. That is too direct. Elena practices the sandwich method in her head. Positive comment, criticism, positive comment. She speaks up. She thinks, I will start with agreement. I see your point, David, and I like the creativity. Now the disagreement. However, I am concerned about the budget. It seems a bit high. Now the suggestion. Perhaps we could try a smaller version first? Notice the softeners. However, I am concerned. Perhaps. These words act like a cushion. They make the disagreement easier to accept. David responds, I guess you are right. We can scale it down. Elena thinks, good. He accepted the feedback. We solved the problem without an argument. Later that afternoon, the phone on her desk rings. It is a client from another country. This is a test of listening skills over the phone, which is harder than face-to-face because you cannot see lips or body language. Elena answers, Good afternoon, Elena speaking. The client speaks quickly and has a strong accent. Elena misses a few words. She does not panic. She uses clarification phrases. She thinks, I did not catch that. She says, Could you please repeat that? The client speaks again. She still is not 100% sure. She says, Just to make sure I understand, you are asking for the report by Friday? The client says, Yes, Friday. Elena thinks, Okay, I got it. Clarifying is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of professionalism. It shows you care about getting the details right. After the call, Elena feels a bit drained. She thinks, speaking on the phone is exhausting. She takes a break. She goes to the office kitchen to get water. She runs into her boss. This is an elevator pitch moment. Her boss asks, How is everything going, Elena? She has 10 seconds to make a good impression. She doesn't just say, Fine. She says, Everything is going well. I just sent the quarterly report, and I successfully resolved the issue with the client. She thinks, I used the word successfully. That sounds confident. Small interactions with authority figures are opportunities to showcase your competence. The workday ends, but Elena's mission is not over. She goes home, but instead of relaxing immediately, she decides to prepare for the potential interview. She knows that preparation prevents poor performance. She sits on her sofa and pretends she is in the interview chair. She plays both roles, the interviewer and the candidate. She asks herself the most common question, Tell me about yourself. She thinks, I should not tell my life story. I should focus on my career. She practices her answer. I have been working in this industry for 5 years. I started as a junior assistant and worked my way up. I am passionate about problem solving and team building. She says it out loud. She thinks, that was a bit too fast. I should slow down. She tries again, focusing on clear enunciation. Then she tries a harder question. What is your biggest weakness? This is a tricky one. She thinks, if I say I am lazy, that is bad. If I say I work too hard, that sounds fake. She decides to be honest, but strategic. She practices, sometimes I focus too much on small details. However, I am learning to look at the big picture more often. This structure, admitting a flaw, plus showing improvement, is the perfect formula for this answer. Elena decides to use a technique called the STAR method for behavioral questions. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. She practices answering, tell me about a time you handled a difficult situation. Situation. Last year, we had a tight deadline. Task. I had to organize the team to finish in 2 days. Action. I created a new schedule and delegated tasks effectively. Result. We finished on time, and the client was happy. She thinks, breaking the story into these 4 parts makes it so much easier to remember. I do not get lost in the story. After her practice session, Elena feels mentally sharp but tired. She needs to switch off her business brain and turn on her relaxation brain. She decides to cook something comforting. While she cooks, she listens to a podcast in English. It is a podcast about psychology. She is not actively studying. She is just letting the language wash over her. She hears a new word, resilience. She thinks, resilience. That means bouncing back from difficulties. That is a good word for today. I showed resilience when I handled the difficult client. She sits down to eat. She thinks, I deserve a treat. She has a piece of chocolate. She savors it. She thinks, this is my reward. The brain needs rewards to keep learning habits strong. If you associate English practice with positive feelings, like feeling proud or eating chocolate, you will want to do it more. Before bed, Elena checks her email one last time. No reply from the boss yet. She thinks, patience. It has only been a few hours. She puts her phone away. She picks up her journal. Writing in a journal is the written version of the internal monologue. She writes 3 sentences about her day. I applied for the team lead job. I handled a disagreement with David politely. I practiced for my interview. Writing it down solidifies the memory. It proves to herself that she made progress. She gets into bed. She feels different than she did on Saturday. On Saturday, she was a friend and an explorer. Today, she was a professional. She thinks, I can be many things in English. I can be funny. I can be serious. I can be strong. This realization is profound. You are not just learning to translate your native personality into English. You are building an English version of yourself. This version might be slightly different, maybe more direct, maybe more polite. And that is okay. As she closes her eyes, she visualizes the interview again. But this time, she visualizes it going perfectly. She sees herself shaking hands with the boss. She hears herself speaking clearly. She feels calm. Visualization is a technique used by athletes and CEOs. If you can see it in your mind, it is easier to do it in reality. She thinks, I am ready for whatever happens tomorrow. It is 2 weeks after Elena's job application. She is sitting at her desk when an email pops up. Subject, business trip to London. Her heart skips a beat. She reads the email. Elena, we would like you to represent the team at the conference in London next week. She thinks, I cannot believe it. I am going to London. This is a moment of pure excitement. She thinks, I have never been to London. I am going to see Big Ben. I am going to ride a red bus. But then, the practical thoughts kick in. She switches to planning mode. She thinks, I need to check my passport. Is it expired? I need to book a flight. I need to find a hotel. Fast forward to the night before the trip. Elena is packing her suitcase. Packing is a great exercise for categorization and conditionals. She looks at her clothes. She categorizes them: business wear, casual wear, sleepwear. She thinks, I am packing my black suit for the conference. It looks professional. I am packing my jeans for the evening. Now, the conditionals. She checks the weather app on her phone. It says, rain likely. She thinks, if it rains, I will need my trench coat. If I walk a lot, I will need comfortable shoes. She puts high heels in the bag, but also a pair of sneakers. She thinks, better safe than sorry. She packs her toiletries. She thinks, I cannot bring large liquids. I have to put my shampoo in a small travel bottle. This uses the vocabulary of necessity. Have to, must, need to. The next morning, Elena is at the airport. Airports are sensory overload. Announcements, crowds, signs. Elena narrates the chaos to stay calm. She thinks, the terminal is crowded. People are rushing everywhere. She looks for the check-in counter. She sees the sign, departures. She walks towards it. She stands in line. She thinks, the line is long. It is moving slowly. When she gets to the counter, the agent asks, passport and ticket, please. Elena hands them over. She thinks, here you go. The agent asks, are you checking any bags? Elena says, yes, just one suitcase. The agent asks, did you pack this bag yourself? Elena says, yes, I did. These are standard security questions. Rehearsing them makes you faster and less nervous. She moves to security. This is the most stressful part for everyone. Elena talks herself through the process. She thinks, I need to take off my belt. I need to take my laptop out of the bag. I need to put my liquids in the tray. She walks through the metal detector. She thinks, please do not beep. It does not beep. She thinks, phew, I made it. She collects her things. She thinks, I am reorganizing my bag. I am putting my shoes back on. Now she is at the gate. She has an hour before boarding. She sits down and watches the planes take off. She thinks, that plane is huge. It is taking off into the clouds. Suddenly, an announcement comes over the speaker. Flight 405 to London is delayed by 45 minutes. Elena feels a spike of frustration. She thinks, oh no, a delay. I hate waiting. But she reframes it in English. She thinks, okay, I have extra time. I can buy a magazine. I can get a snack. I will not let this ruin my mood. Managing emotions in a second language is a sign of high emotional intelligence. She goes to a newsstand. She thinks, I am looking for something to read. She buys a business magazine. She thinks, this will help me prepare for the conference. Finally, she boards the plane. She finds her seat, 14A, a window seat. She thinks, I love the window seat. I can see the view. She puts her carry-on bag in the overhead bin. She thinks, it is a bit heavy. I have to push it hard. She sits down and buckles her seatbelt. She thinks, click, I am safe. A man sits next to her. He smiles. This is the airplane neighbor scenario. It is a trap for some, a joy for others. He says, heading to London for business or pleasure? Elena smiles back. She thinks, I will be polite, but brief. She says, for business. I have a conference. He asks, what do you do? She gives her elevator pitch that she practiced. I am a team lead in marketing. They chat for a few minutes. Then she puts on her headphones. She thinks, I want to sleep now. She signals the end of the conversation politely. It was nice talking to you. I am going to try to get some rest. The flight is long. Midway through, there is turbulence. The plane shakes. Elena grips the armrest. Fear is a primal emotion, and it usually brings your native language to the surface. Elena fights it. She forces herself to think in English to stay grounded. She thinks, it is just turbulence. It is normal. The pilot knows what he is doing. The plane is strong. Breathing in, breathing out. She calms herself down with English words. Steady. Calm. Safe. This is an advanced technique, using the target language as a tool for anxiety relief. The plane lands. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. Elena looks out the window. It is gray and rainy, just like she expected. She thinks, typical London weather. She gets off the plane and follows the signs to Immigration. This is the final boss of the airport level. The immigration officer sits in a high booth. He looks serious. He calls her forward. Next! Elena walks up. She thinks, stand tall. Smile. He asks, what is the purpose of your visit? Elena answers clearly, I am here for a business conference. He asks, how long will you be staying? She says, 5 days. He asks, where are you staying? She says, at the Hilton Hotel. He stamps her passport. Thump. Welcome to the UK. Elena thinks, I am officially here. I passed the test. She collects her bag and walks out into the arrivals hall. She needs a taxi. She sees the line for black cabs. She gets in one. The driver has a strong Cockney accent. Where to, love? Elena has to listen very carefully. She thinks his accent is different. It is not like the movies. She says the address clearly. As they drive, she looks at the city. She thinks, the cars are driving on the left side of the road. That looks so strange. She sees red phone booths. She thinks, it looks just like the pictures. She arrives at the hotel. She walks to the reception. Check in for Elena, please. The receptionist types on the computer. Then she frowns. I am sorry, madam, but we do not have a reservation under that name. Elena feels panic rising again. This is a conflict resolution moment. She thinks, stay calm. Do not get angry. Check the facts. She pulls out her phone. She finds the confirmation email. She thinks, I have proof. She shows the phone to the receptionist. I have my confirmation number here. It is XYZ. The receptionist looks again. Ah, I see it now. They spelled your name wrong in the system. My apologies. Elena thinks, problem solved. Always have evidence. She says, no problem. Thank you for fixing it. Elena gets to her room. It is small but cozy. She unpacks. But then she starts to feel not so good. Her head hurts. Her throat feels scratchy. The stress of travel and the recycled air on the plane have made her sick. She thinks, oh no, I am getting sick. I cannot be sick. I have a conference tomorrow. She touches her forehead. She thinks, I feel warm. Maybe I have a fever. This leads us to the health and pharmacy scenario. This is critical vocabulary. You need to be able to describe pain. Is it a sharp pain? A dull ache? A throbbing pain? Elena decides she needs medicine. She leaves the hotel and finds a pharmacy with a green cross sign. She walks in. The pharmacist approaches her. Can I help you? Elena has to be specific. She thinks, I need to describe my symptoms accurately. She says, hi, I have a bad headache and a sore throat. The pharmacist asks, do you have a fever? Elena says, I think so. I feel a bit hot. The pharmacist asks, do you have any allergies? Elena thinks, no, I don't. She says, no allergies. The pharmacist recommends a box of pills. Take 2 of these every 4 hours, and drink plenty of water. Elena listens to the instructions. She thinks, 2 pills. Every 4 hours. Got it. She pays and thanks him. Back at the hotel, Elena takes the medicine. She gets into bed. She feels lonely. Being sick in a hotel room in a foreign city is a very lonely feeling. She thinks, I wish I was in my own bed. I wish my mom was here. She allows herself to feel sad for a moment, but then she switches back to resilience. She thinks, I am strong. I will sleep. I will feel better tomorrow. She drinks a large glass of water. She thinks, hydration is key. She closes the curtains. The room is dark. She falls asleep listening to the sound of London traffic outside. The next morning, Elena wakes up. She waits a second before moving. How does she feel? She thinks, my head is clear. My throat is better. The medicine worked. She feels a surge of gratitude. She thinks, thank goodness. I can go to the conference. She gets dressed in her business suit. She looks in the mirror. She thinks, I look professional. I look ready. She goes downstairs for breakfast. English breakfast is famous. She sees eggs, sausages, beans, and toast. She thinks, I should try the full English breakfast. She orders it. She thinks, the beans are sweet. The sausage is savory. It is a heavy breakfast, but it gives me energy. While she eats, she reviews her notes for the conference. She thinks, I am going to meet people from all over the world. I need to be ready for different accents. She walks to the conference center. It is a massive building. She gets her badge. It says, Elena, Team Lead. She feels proud. She walks into the main hall. There are hundreds of people. She thinks, this is intimidating, but it is also exciting. She walks up to a group of people standing by the coffee machine. This is the networking challenge. Breaking into a group conversation is hard. She waits for a pause. She thinks, now is my chance. She steps in. Hi, do you mind if I join you? The coffee line is so long. They laugh. It breaks the ice. One woman is from France, one man is from Japan, and another is from the US. Elena realizes something amazing. They are all speaking English, but none of them are perfect. The French woman has an accent. The Japanese man pauses to find words. Elena thinks, we are all in the same boat. We are all using English as a tool. I do not need to be perfect. I just need to be understood. This realization liberates her. She speaks more freely. She asks questions. Where are you based? What did you think of the keynote speaker? During a break, Elena has to make a phone call to her office back home to update them. She finds a quiet corner. She dials. Hi, boss. I am in London. The flight was delayed, and there was an issue with the hotel, but I sorted it out. I am at the conference now, and it is going great. She summarizes the events. This ability to summarize complex events concisely is a high-level skill. She doesn't complain about the sickness. She focuses on the success. Her boss says, "Great job, Elena. Enjoy the rest of the trip." That evening, Elena decides to be a tourist. She takes a walk along the River Thames. She sees the London Eye. It is lit up in blue and pink. She thinks, it is beautiful. She takes a selfie. She thinks, I will post this later. She captions it in her head. London nights. Feeling grateful. She walks across a bridge. The wind is cold. She thinks, I am glad I brought my coat. She finds a small pub for dinner. She walks in. It is noisy and crowded. She goes to the bar. I'll have the fish and chips, please. The bartender says, Pint with that? Elena thinks, why not? Yes, a half pint of lager, please. She sits in a corner and watches the locals. She sees a group of friends laughing. She understands some of their jokes, but not all. She thinks, their slang is difficult, but that is okay. I am learning. As she eats her fish and chips, she reflects on the last 24 hours. She thinks, yesterday I was scared. I was sick. I was lost. Today, I am fed. I am healthy. I am networking. Travel is like life, but faster. Highs and lows happen in hours, not weeks. And through it all, English was my lifeline. Without English, I could not have fixed the hotel, bought the medicine, or made friends at the conference. She realizes that fluency is not just about grammar rules. Fluency is about independence. It is the power to go anywhere in the world and survive. It is the power to connect. She thinks, I am not just a student anymore. I am a global citizen. This shift in identity is the most important part of the journey. When you stop seeing yourself as a learner and start seeing yourself as a user of the language, everything changes. Elena pays her bill. She says, "Cheers," to the bartender, a local word she just picked up. He says, "Cheers, love." She walks back to her hotel. The city feels less strange now. It feels a little bit like hers. She thinks, I could live here. Maybe one day. She gets back to her room. She packs her bag for the next day. She thinks, tomorrow is the presentation. I have to speak in front of 10 people. She feels a butterfly in her stomach. But it is a good butterfly. It is excitement. She thinks, I have practiced. I know my stuff. I will do great. She lies in bed. She thinks, good night, London. Thank you for the lessons. She falls asleep instantly, exhausted but happy. Elena is on the flight back home. The plane is quiet. Most people are sleeping. She is looking out the window at the clouds illuminated by the moon. She is not thinking about logistics anymore. She is thinking about the experience itself. This is reflective thinking, and it requires a different set of grammar, mostly mixed conditionals and abstract nouns. She thinks, if I hadn't gone to London, I wouldn't have met those amazing people. She is connecting the past action, going, to the present result, knowing people. She thinks, the trip was exhausting, but it was worth it. It gave me a new perspective. Perspective, culture, independence. These are abstract concepts. Beginners talk about things, tables, chairs. Intermediates talk about actions, running, eating. Advanced learners talk about ideas. She lands. She walks through her home airport. It feels small now. She hears her native language everywhere. It sounds loud. For the first time, her native language feels slightly foreign. This is a phenomenon called reverse culture shock, and it is a good sign. It means your brain has adapted to a new frequency. She gets in a taxi. She does not speak to the driver. She wants to keep her English brain active for just a little longer. She thinks, I want to hold on to this feeling. I feel capable. I feel international. She arrives at her apartment. It smells familiar. She drops her suitcase. She sits on her sofa. The silence of the room is heavy. Now comes the hardest part of the journey. The re-entry. How do you keep your fluency when you are back in your comfort zone? Elena decides she will not let her English fade. She makes a decision. She thinks, my home is my English zone. She turns on the TV, but she immediately switches it to an international news channel. She watches a news segment about climate change. This is high-level input. The reporter uses words like sustainability, emissions, and policy. Elena challenges herself to form an opinion in English. She thinks, this is a complicated issue. On one hand, we need economic growth. On the other hand, we must protect the planet. She uses connectors. On one hand, on the other hand, furthermore, however, she thinks the government should invest more in renewable energy. She is not just observing, she is debating. Try this. Pick a topic, politics, art, technology, and have a debate with yourself. Be the proponent and the opponent. Artificial intelligence is good because it saves time. Yes, but it is bad because it might replace jobs. This mental tennis match builds complex neural pathways. The next day, Elena goes back to work. Her boss calls her into his office. "Welcome back, Elena. How was it?" Now, Elena is the expert. She has knowledge that her team does not. She stands straighter. She says, "It was incredibly productive. I learned about the new market trends." She presents her findings. She notices that she is not searching for words. The words are just flowing. Why? Because she lived the experience in English. The memory is stored in English. She doesn't have to translate, "The conference center was huge," because she saw it while thinking in English. This is the secret. Experience things in English, and you will remember them in English. At lunch, she sits with her colleagues. They are speaking in their native language. Elena joins in, of course, but she notices something. She thinks, "I am translating their words into English in my head." It is a fun game. Her colleague makes a joke. Elena thinks, "How would I say that in English? That idiom doesn't translate. I would have to explain the context." This shadow translation keeps her sharp even when she isn't speaking English. That evening, Elena feels a desire to express herself creatively. She takes out her journal again, but this time she writes a poem. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare. It just has to be real. She writes, "The city was gray, but the people were bright. I walked alone, but I felt all right." Rhyming forces you to think about phonetics and vocabulary choice. She looks at her poem. She thinks, "It is simple, but it is mine." Creative writing, poetry, short stories, song lyrics, unlocks the emotional side of the language. If you can cry in English or laugh in English, you own the language. Weeks pass. Elena establishes a forever habit. She knows motivation will fade. Discipline must take over. She creates a rule. No English, no breakfast. She must listen to 10 minutes of English audio while she makes her coffee every morning. No exceptions. She also changes the language of her phone and computer to English. Every time she sees a notification, it is in English. Update completed. Battery low. These small, constant reminders keep her brain in the zone. One night, something incredible happens. Elena is sleeping. In her dream, she is back in the cafe in London. She is talking to Sarah. But here is the amazing part. In the dream, she is speaking English, and she understands everything. She wakes up with a start. She thinks, "I dreamt in English." This is the milestone every learner waits for. It means the language has penetrated the subconscious. It is no longer just a skill. It is a part of her psyche. She smiles in the dark. She thinks, "I have really done it." Now, let's zoom out. We have watched Elena grow from a hesitant learner to a confident, dreaming speaker. But Elena is just a character. You are the real protagonist. How do you apply this to your life? How do you ensure that you don't stop here? You need a roadmap for the long game. Phase 1 is consumption. You are likely already good at this. You watch videos, you read. Keep doing it, but increase the difficulty. Stop watching things with subtitles in your native language. Turn them off. Or use English subtitles. Read books that are slightly too hard for you. This is called comprehensible input +1. You need to struggle a little bit to grow. Phase 2 is production. This is where most people fail. You must produce language. Narrate your day like Elena. Write the journal. Talk to your pets. If you have a dog, tell him about your problems in English. He won't judge your grammar, but your mouth will get practice forming the sounds. Record yourself on your phone. Listen to it. You will cringe at first. You will think, do I really sound like that? Yes, you do. And that is okay. Correct yourself. Oh, I said he go, but I should have said he goes. This self-correction is powerful. Phase 3 is interaction. You cannot learn to swim by reading a book about swimming. You have to get in the water. Find a speaking partner. It doesn't have to be a native speaker. It can be another learner. Join a Discord server. Join a club. Comment on this video and reply to other people's comments. Interaction adds the element of unpredictability. You don't know what the other person will say. You have to react. That is true fluency. And finally, phase 4 is identity. You have to stop saying, I am trying to learn English. You have to start saying, I am an English speaker. It might feel like a lie at first. Fake it until you make it. When you identify as a speaker, you treat the language differently. You don't study it. You use it. You don't visit the language. You live in it. Let's do a final visualization together. I want you to close your eyes. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. You are sitting in a room with people from 5 different countries. You are laughing. You are telling a story. You are not translating in your head. You are not worrying about the past perfect tense. You are just connecting. You are sharing your soul with other human beings. Feel that freedom. Feel that lightness. That future is real. It is waiting for you. But it demands something from you. It demands consistency. It demands that you do the hard work when no one is watching. Elena's story ends here, but yours is just beginning. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you have a choice. You can wake up in your native language, or you can wake up like Elena. You can think, I am waking up. It is a new day. The choice is yours. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me through this long, intense journey. We have written over 10,000 words of life, logic, and language together. If you have listened to all of this, you have already proven that you have the focus and the dedication to become fluent. This channel, English in Fluency, exists for you. I want to build a community of thinkers, not just learners. If this script helped you, if Elena's story resonated with you, I have a request. Do not just click like. I want you to take action. In the comments below, I want you to write your own identity statement. Write, I am an English speaker, and today I will finish the sentence. Today I will read a news article. Today I will narrate my lunch. Make a public commitment. And if you want more deep dives like this, more immersive storytelling, and more advanced psychological techniques for learning, subscribe and hit the bell. We are just getting started. I am Alex. This has been English in Fluency. The script is finished, but your conversation with the world is just starting. Go out there, speak, think, live. Good luck, and see you in the next video.